Hello, here is the storyline of episode 18. At the beginning of this episode, the police tell Hannah that the grandmother, possibly Chang's grandmother, has just died and will be buried soon. Although it is not certain that grandmother is Chang's grandmother, Hannah and her siblings hold a funeral ceremony for the grandmother. In Hannah's heart, she hopes that the grandmother is not Chang's grandmother. She hopes that Chang's grandmother is still alive. Then, in this episode, it shows that Eugene no longer trusts the police after she finds out that the DNA she registered 20 years ago was contaminated. This time, she chooses to register her DNA with the National Forensic Service and hopes that no one contaminates her DNA again. She also thinks about the possibility that Sung-ho's DNA, which he registered 20 years ago, was also contaminated. So she sent an email to Sung-ho and asked him to check this problem. Besides that, Myung-ji worries. She worries that what she has done for the past 20 years will become known by Eugene. So she asks the man who has been helping her to damage Eugene's DNA again, which Eugene will register with the NFS. The man says that this will be difficult, but there is some time lag needed to transfer the DNA from the police to the NFS, and during that time lag, this man promises to damage the DNA again. Of course, he asks for more money from Myung-ji to do all that. Myung-ji has run out of money, so she intends to tell Eugene that Eugene's daughter has died. But the man forbids Myung-ji from doing that. According to him, if Eugene finds out that her daughter has died, then Eugene will reinvestigate the case of her daughter's accident 6 years ago, and it is possible that Eugene will find out the cause. The man suggests that Myung-ji tell Eugene her daughter has died at least 4 years from now. And because Myung-ji needs a lot of money to pay the man, she tells Seong to do dirty things related to the cooperation of Hyosung Chor and Hassan. Seong has no other choice but to do what Myung-ji orders. And because the bad tourist is responsible for Hannah, it seems that Hannah will also be involved in this problem. And Seong will blame all the mistakes that will happen in the future on Hannah. Another story comes from Sung-ho, who apparently already knows that his daughter has changed her name to Lee Duna and lives abroad after being adopted 20 years ago. He also knows that his daughter had an accident 6 years ago when she returned to Korea. And he also knows that his daughter has a son named Chong. It turned out that Richard Hart has gotten that much information, but he keeps everything he knows a secret because he wants to protect his grandson, especially after he finds out that someone deliberately contaminated his DNA and Eugene's. Even though he knows all that information, he still cannot find Chong. When he comes to the orphanage where Donna lived 20 years ago, he also doesn't find any information because since 5 years ago, all the staff at the orphanage have been replaced with new staff. At the end of this episode, Hannah gets information from the police that grandmother who died was not Chang's grandmother. Hannah feels relieved but also sad because that means they haven't found Chang's grandmother. At the same time, Mr. Ko tells Richard Han that he has found Chang, and as soon as possible, Richard Han goes to the area of the house that Mr. Ko told him. And there, he sees Chang and Hannah from a distance. He looks happy but also sad to see his grandson for the first time. Okay everyone, that's the storyline this time. Thank you for watching my video.